A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you, you are also to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Welcome to A Kind and Gentle Word. I'm Jordan, and today's episode is on the Last Supper. John chapter 13, the penultimate Last Supper that is one of the most important pieces of the Bible. There are so many important pieces. So let's begin by diving into the scripture, reading verse by verse, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Chapter 13. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." I am not referring to all of you. I know those I have chosen, but this is to fulfill this passage of Scripture. He who shared my bread has turned against me. I am telling you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will believe that I am who I am. Very truly, I tell you, whoever accepts anyone I send accepts me, and whoever accepts me accepts the one who sent me. After he had said this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and testified, "Very truly, I tell you, one of you is going to betray me." His disciples stared at one another, at a loss to know which one of them he meant. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, "Ask him which one he means." Leaning back against Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." Then dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. So Jesus told him, "What you are about to do, do quickly." But no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him. Since Judas had charged the money, some thought Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the festival, or to give something to the poor. As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out, and it was night. When he was gone, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself, and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me. And just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. Simon Peter asked him, Lord, where are you going? Jesus replied, Where I am going, you cannot follow now, but you will follow later. Peter asked, Lord, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. Then Jesus answered, Will you really lay down your life for me? Very truly, I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. Now we know that God is omniscient. That means he is all-knowing. And Jesus is, of course, also all-knowing, as he is both man and God. And he is fully aware of everything that's happening around him. He's fully aware of what's about to happen in the coming days. He's fully aware that Judas has already betrayed him and just hasn't completed the task. And he's fully aware that his disciples are still not grasping the severity of the situation. And that's okay. Even as he decides to wash their feet, they're still not understanding how incredible it is that they have God amongst them in a way that has never been done before. Jesus is humbling himself and putting himself below them in this moment to wash their feet. It's something that only someone of a lower status would do at this time in history. And that's why Peter is kind of appalled by the act, like, no, please don't do that. And then it's almost funny that Jesus says, if I don't wash your feet, then you can't be one of mine. And then of course Peter says, oh, whoa, then head to toe, everything, Lord. But of course, this moment is only for the washing of feet, one by one by one. And that includes Judas. This gives us a pure example of who we are supposed to be as Christ followers. Our obligation is to have humility and sacrificial love for others, even when they don't have it for us. And that can be spoken out loud or subconscious. The excuse is, I'm too good for that, or that's for someone else to do. Doesn't really have a place in our life. Judas takes part in the Last Supper, and Jesus says that one of his disciples is going to betray him. And he says that the disciple who dips his bread in the wine is the one that betrays him. Judas does this, and no one seems to take note of it. But I guess there is a lot of people in the room. There's a lot going on. But what's very interesting is that Jesus is like, all right, go get it over with. Just go. And Judas leaves, and no one seems to think anything of it, except that John notes here in verse 30, after receiving the morsel of bread, Judas immediately went out, and it was night. Judas leaves Jesus' presence and disappears into the dark. It's almost like a movie, except this was very, very real life. It's after Judas leaves that Jesus issues the final instructions to his disciples about loving one another and how the world will know that we are his disciples by how we give love to others. So important. That doesn't have to be an easy thing. In fact, it's a very difficult thing. So for me, I pray often that God will give me eyes to see people the way that he sees them, and that God will love people through me and help me to love people the way that he loves people. And just by praying that is a step in the right direction. After the Last Supper is consumed, Jesus tells the disciples, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow me afterward." And Peter is immediately like, "Lord, why can I not follow you now? I would lay down my life for you." And I do believe that he believes that in that moment. And of course, Jesus then answers, "Oh, really? Because I know that you're about to deny me 3 times before the sun rises." Well, he says, before the rooster crows. So do the other disciples wonder amongst themselves if Peter is the one who's going to betray Jesus? No one says that in the text, But I often have wondered that if Peter speaks out so much at this Last Supper, do the other disciples start to wonder if he's okay today? But what's incredible is that, yes, Peter is going to deny Jesus 3 times, but he's still going to be one of the disciples that runs to the empty tomb. But John beats him there. He actually points that out in the scripture. So just because you deny Jesus today does not mean you cannot run to him again tomorrow. So if you're in a moment where you are struggling with your walk with Christ, get up, put on those shoes, and keep walking with Jesus. Just because you deny him once, twice, or 3 times doesn't mean you can't come running back to him, because he's waiting with open arms. And as you walk beside the Lord, remember to be kind to others and gentle with yourself, for we are all a work in progress. Tune in next time for the I am the life chapter, John 14.